pleasure to see you all here in the Alumni Meet 2022 of Department of Islamic Studies, University of Kashmir. I feel highly grateful to welcome you all back into this abode of education where you spent significant years of your life. We are all very proud of every value you stand for and how you are shaping this society into something so better on a daily basis. Our respected and distinguished former heads, we share immense pride about the legacy you have left behind, and we hope to carry the light beam that you have sparked. We pledge to take the golden legacy ahead and make the world acknowledge the fact that this glorious Department of Islamic Studies is second to none. I, Nakshab, from batch 2020 on the behalf of Shah-i-Hamdan Institute of Islamic Studies, welcome you all and hope you have a time of your life today.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. وجاءوا أباهم عشاء يبكون قالوا يا أبانا إنا ذهبنا نستبق وتركنا يوسف عند متاعنا فأكله الذئب وما أنت بمؤمن لنا ولو كنا صادقين. وجاءوا على قميصه بدم كذب قال بل سولت لكم أنفسكم أمرا فصبر والله المستعان على ما تصفون. وجاءت سيارة فارسلوا واردهم فأدلى دلوه قال يا بشرى هذا غلام وأسروه بضاعة والله عليم بما يعملون. نحمده ونسلم ونصلي على رسوله الكريم أما بعد فقد قال تبارك وتعالى في الكلام المجيد بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم تلك الرسل فضلنا بعضهم على بعض منهم من كلم الله ورفع بعضهم درجات. وقال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم ما من أحد يسلم علي إلا رد الله علي روحي حتى أرد عليه السلام. लालच कदर डंगल जाने पुष्क्यो जानी स्वथ पेट वत लालच कदर डंगल जाने पुष्क्यो जानी स्वथ पेट वत शमहुच कदर पोंपुर जाने मुश्क्यो जानी पोंपुरिन गत. ज़विल एहतिशाम پروفیسر حمید اللہ مرازی صاحب، پروفیسر جین خاکی صاحب، پروفیسر عبدالرشید بٹ صاحب، پروفیسر منظور احمد بٹ صاحب و دیگر مہمانان گرامی جو ہمارے مجلس کی زینت بنے ہوئے ہیں، اور میرے عزیز اساتذہ صاحباں، عزیز ساتھیوں، السلام علیکم ورحمۃ اللہ وبرکاتہ۔ وَأَحْسَنُ مِنْكَ لَمْ تَرَقَّتُ عَيْنِي وَأَجْمَلُ مِنْكَ لَمْ تَلِدِ النِّسَاء خُلِقْتَ مُبَرَّعًا مِنْ كُلِّ عَيْبٍ كَأَنَّكَ قَدْ خُلِقْتَ كَمَا تَشَاءُ مَا إِنْ مَدَحْتُ بِمَقَالَتِي مُحَمَّدًا وَلَكِنْ مَدَحْتُ مَقَالَتِي بِمُحَمَّدًا وَدُحَا روئی چھم جانان تابان عاشق میں آئے بردوش چھس زلف پہچان شوبان عاشق میں آئے نندراو سردار عالم منور کرنیز عالم عاشقن در دل یہی غم معشوق عاشق میں آئے موسیٰ وشبیو تو الف ہے میم کے ظہور تمیں نور گم گئی ہو رہی دیدار عاشق میں مرسل شاہ-ی-حمدان نئی پئی نئی طور نشان مرسل شاہ-ی-حمدان نئی پئی نئی طور نشان دون یلے سپدیو یکسان ملسار عاشق میں آئے دون یلے سپدیو یکسان ملسار عاشق میں آئے گٹ دور کرنئی بلا فخالن Hannan durern zahlen ama aşık aşık mi aye dilnyum emi خوبصورت ز عالم والمی ظهورن ون وون مشد گورن اما دیدار عاشق می ون وون مشت گورن دیدار عاشق می آئے.
To begin with, I am highly obliged, grateful from the core of my heart to our distinguished senior most professor of the Department of Islamic Studies, Professor Hamidullah Marazi Sahab, who has been head Department of Islamic Studies, who has served in various capacities at University of Kashmir, finally shifted to Central University of Kashmir and has been there as head Department of Islamic Studies, and then Dean School of Social Sciences. And lastly, now presently he is Chairman, Spiritual Studies Center, International Spiritual Studies Center at Islamic University of Science and Technology. I am highly grateful, sir, obliged to you, sir, for being with us, for, gracing the occasion with your august presence. I equally welcome our distinguished professor again, Professor Abdul Rashid Bhatt Sahab, who has been the former head Department of Islam Studies, who has been always kind, compassionate to the students, and especially those who have just chosen their career in the research program, for guiding them, providing the supervisions, and identifying the research themes as well for the students, in making necessary corrections as well. This is in fact a special quality, special, enthusiasm of Professor Bhatt Sahab. I am highly honored with his august presence, and I welcome you, sir, to be with us in this Alumni meet. I am highly obliged to our distinguished Professor Manzoor Ahmad Bhatt Sahab, formerly head Department of Islam Studies, for being with us. I know all these, they have been all, together engaged with different assignments, academic activities, teaching, non-teaching. But in spite of all that, you have been so kind to us to be with us, to grace the occasion, to be among the students that you had taught in the university. There are three professions. As and when they retired, usually nobody retires from university services. But the moment they retired with their designation. Rest of the people don't carry forward with their designations. For example, if you are a bank manager, he will retire, nobody will call him manager sahab. But a teacher is always a teacher, whether he has retired or he has retired. A judiciary chief justice, he is a judge, he continues to be a judge. A medical doctor is a doctor, he continues to be a doctor, even he retires from जो हमारे रूल्स रेगुलेशंस के तहत जो है वो सब होते हैं. तो इस एतबार से हम highly obliged, grateful to all of our distinguished professors, former heads of the Department of Islam Studies, and then Professor Hamidullah Marazi Sahab, he is the chief guest here. We had made it all informal, so that this is open doors for your interaction with our teachers. Formal meetings, you don't find much time. You are busy with obliging people, so this is all informal, so that you can just have interaction with the people. Basically, we have been made to understand. There was one occasion, and I remember that. Sometimes people remember things, unconsciously. When this was the farewell function at UN, the former president of USA, Barack Obama, it was a farewell party organized for himself. He said, "You have been all along busy with interacting with people, friends and relatives, and those whom you otherwise want to talk, to interact with, through mobiles and telephones. But you should find some day, some time to talk people in person. that will be the best course of action. For telephone to हमारे रिश्ते बर्बाद कर लिए हैं, mobiles ने हमारी पूरी समाजी ज़िंदगी भी ख़राब कर ली है. We could not express the way we would have expressed in presence of our teachers and beloved teachers whom we always expect that they will, shape our future, make our life by virtue of their experiences, by virtue of their vision and understanding that they had gained over a period of time, while continuing with their academic discourses. और मौलाना रूमी ने खूबसूरत बात कही है कि यक ज़माना सोहबत बा अवलिया बेहतर सद साल अतात बेरिया. Awliya does not mean some supernatural being. It is somebody who is bestowed with knowledge and understanding and vision. And these are the teachers of your department. The heads of the department and all the faculty members. I am highly, I feel honored to be, even though for a small period of time, the head department of Islam studies. To my understanding, this is one of the best departments of the university. Why? Because we are connected with worldly, life as well. We have a future in different, professions as well. But at the same time, we are supposed to be the most obedient, students, the creation to the orders of Almighty Allah and the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This we see, this we had experienced over a period of time. But unfortunately, this had gone in a wrong way. That students of Islamic studies perhaps does not know the things beyond their academics. So that's why I am highly obliged, grateful to a good number of students who had, made all preparations to make presentations vis-a-vis their programs that they had identified to be presented on this occasion. So that means you are none to less in the university because you are connected both. While you are connected and co-curricular and curricular activities, you are equally connected with that. We usually receive notices from Dean's Students' Welfare for participation of students in different programs that they had identified to be organized in our university and maybe outside as well. And there we have found that most of our students are always willing to be part of those academic events, academic gatherings, whether it is, symposia, whether it is interactions, whether it is extempore presentations, you are always there. That makes us all proud to honor our students, their, understanding and their vision and their extraordinary activities, other than their academics in the department and in the university. This, in fact, we were, waiting for. So, first thing is, that you had an opportunity to talk to your friends and teachers. We were expecting, we will have a separate session with all our distinguished teachers, our, guests on the dais, our students as well. You will have a separate session with them after this, the inaugural session is over, so that you can share your, knowledge. Maybe you have many things in mind. You could not just find to resolve the things that had erupted in your mind over a period of time. Then you have experts with you. I'm sure all those who had found their place in different, institutions, inside and outside the university, they will of course share their experience, how they reached their destination, what was their, aim of life, how they managed all these things, how they, connected their family, worldly things, and their academics as well. Maybe that is a source of inspiration for a good number of students to pursue with their research program, to make their life and to make their future. That will be, in fact, this part of it. Number second is, we have many things to do. Basically, Islamic studies is one of the prominent subjects in the University of Kashmir, maybe outside as well. But unfortunately, fortunately, we have not been perhaps in a position to present it as a subject of social sciences. That has been very unfortunate. It's a social science subject, and this has wonderful orientation for everybody who opts for the subject of Islam studies. You can ask anybody in the colleges, or in the university, those who opt for the subject of Islam studies. They don't accept it as subject of, Maulvi, something like that. They accept it as subject of social sciences, the way we students accept, opt for other subjects as well. And this is in fact a requirement of NAP 2020, that you have to, talk to people, interact with them, organize such type of events. This is one of the requirements as well. And this has in fact created the chance for the Department of Islam Studies to invite the distinguished scholars with whom we shall have an interaction in a separate meeting as well. And then second is, as I was saying, कि हमारे पास जो इस्लाम स्टडीज़ सब्जेक्ट को प्रेजेंट करने की जो कुव्वत थी वो शायद हम पूरी उसको ज़ोर शोर के उसके साथ नहीं कर पाए, और नतीजा क्या हुआ? We have scores of posts vacant in many other subjects, maybe in languages, maybe in sciences, maybe in social sciences, but unfortunately, there is not a single space for a student of Islam studies in higher education in different departments, especially in higher secondary students. This Alumni Meet does not meet only the interaction on academics, but to identify the future of the students, how we will carve out a place for our students who, after completing their education from the university, whether as a student or a research scholar, what will be his future. This is in fact a meeting that will deliberate upon those issues. We will have a separate meeting on that. Maybe we have to go to the higher education department with a request, or maybe the higher secondaries. We have thousands of higher secondaries in our state. But unfortunately, we could not place the subject of Islam studies. That we are the students capable to teach students in your universities, in your colleges, in your higher secondaries. That way, maybe Professor Hamidullah Marazi Sahab, Professor Bhatt Sahab, and again Professor Bhatt Sahab, both of them are with us. We may identify something that will be beneficial and fruitful to our students as well. And number third is, which बच्चे हैं कि जो after the completion of their master's program, they are happy with what they have achieved. So they go back to home, they do a job, maybe they are settled at home thinking how they will make their life and future. But there are some students जो master's program में ही मतलब कि they are at it कि how shall we pursue ahead with our research themes, research proposals. How a student, I had some occasion to interact with students, I have already told you and I will repeat again. Number first, this Alumni Meet is to ease out for the students who are interested, who desirous to go for higher studies in Islam studies, for example, master's degree or PhD programs in this. What could be a reasonable theme of research for the students? We have teachers for that. This is in fact Alumni Meet. Number first, to do something that will ensure better future of our students. Number second, those who want to pursue with higher studies in the same subject, identify a theme of research that is more relevant to the requirements of 21st century youth. That the type of themes are to be identified.
It is really an auspicious occasion to have this annual alumni meet of Islamic studies on this day. And I think myself highly fortunate to be a part of this meet, which is important in several ways. This alumni has its own purpose, and this activity is highly beneficial for the students to meet and to interact with the faculty, with the scholars, and among themselves, and to think that what is the future of the discipline and how they are going well at present in the discipline, and many things can be discussed and interacted, because the development of the student to go ahead and to face the challenges in terms of his vocation and in terms of his playing the part in the society. And of course, this is an auspicious occasion to have this alumni meet, and I congratulate the organizers, head of the department, that he organized this at a particular time. And I am also grateful for the head of the department and the faculty of Islamic Studies that they honored us here, invited us on this occasion. And when I am being before you, and many these thoughts are ranking in my mind, but some go very deep in my heart. And I could not, in this very little time of 10 minutes, I could not pass on those fully to you. And in future, when we can have the occasion, and I will make you know that how this department came into existence. And it is a great blessing of Allah Almighty. that is that department which imparts studies on Islam and research in Islam. It was a dire need of this region of Jammu and Kashmir, where the Muslims are in majority, but they don't have the center on religion or Islamic studies. And it has its own factors, and let Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless them who made some contribution in it. And when it came into existence in 89, and then it became an independent department, Islamic studies. First it was Arabic and Islamic studies. And then, that the persons who joined first, Professor Sayyid Ali Hamadani and Professor Hamidullah Marazi. Then I also joined, and Khaki Saab was with me, and he also joined. We joined as part-time lecturers. And I myself am thankful to both of these scholars, and also who is not with us, but he's at our heart, Professor Sayyid Ali Hamadani. He had training Islamic studies. It is a credit to the department, but because he had training in Islamic studies. It is because of his training, in Islamic studies, that some concepts about Islamic studies got very clear to us. And he framed the syllabus along with our senior colleague. That became the prestigious and a better syllabus than the other universities. And so this continued by his successors. And Professor Marazi Sahab, he had also training at some research institutes, JNU and also Shah-i-Hamdan. And he came with us, and at that time, I had not so exposure, but while interacting with him, I got elevated. I am thankful to him. I am thankful to Gilani Sahab also. And then Professor Nasim Shah also joined. He was a man of literature, he was a man of language. And he added some more flavor to this. And Alhamdulillah, we designed a good syllabus, and we were the people who stayed in the university. We were residential here. And it made the department to go ahead in terms of spending time. We spend time here because we are residential here, people. And then their teaching became very rich here. And I will not go into the details. Yes, I also learned a lot by spending my 30 years in the department. And I owe a lot to this department. And in terms of learning Islamic studies, in terms of my humble scholarship. But at the same time, I am thinking myself, humbling myself, this before the Almighty God and to you also, that many lacunas left in our teaching, in our scholarship. And I beg the pardon of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that He may be mercy on us, He may forgive those lacunas. And also those students who were with us, and maybe there will have been some lacunas in it, and they ask forgive us. Inshallah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will elevate them in future. So second point is that from the beginning to this time, all the colleagues of the department, they were committed, they were diligent, they were serious to their teaching, to their work, to the professional Islamic studies, and highly brotherhood, and they were highly cordial, and spent time beyond the after hours, and this made the department's infrastructure a prestigious one.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. A lot of things about the intellectual development and intellectual and academic and research aspects of the discipline of Islamic studies have been already taken care of by Professor Abdul Rashid Barsa. So I will not just move to that area. That is his area of specialization, and I am one of the beneficiaries of the scholarship of Professor Abdul Rashid Barsa. I have no hesitation to admit this fact that actually I had no mind to go ahead beyond PG in the Department of Islamic Studies. It was my source of inspiration was basically Professor Abdul Rashid Barsa. I was sometimes, I used to stay in the Gini Kashmiri Scholars Hostel. He had a room over there. I was appearing in the exams, and during my exam days, he would invite me to stay over there with him. And when he told me that you should go for research, so I had a big smile. I told him that I don't want to do any research in Islam. So, but he insisted upon, I don't know, he told me, no, you have potential, you can go ahead, you can do research and all that. So I have no hesitation to admit this fact that it was Professor Abdul Rashid Barsa who was basically source of inspiration for me to go ahead in the research domain of Shah-i-Hamdan Institute of Islamic Studies and then the discipline of Islamic Studies. Now today we have the alumni meet. I will just focus upon that. Now we have an alumni at university level. Kashmir University Alumni Association is there at university level. Our students, our research scholars should be knowing this fact. And there is coincidence that previously I was the Vice President of Kashmir University Alumni Association, and presently I am the Joint Secretary of Kashmir University Alumni Association. So there is a set pattern. Since it is alumni, and I will focus upon only alumni, structure of the alumni. What should be the structure of the alumni? I will not go to the academic research and administrative matters of the institution. That is not my baby this time. So at the university level, we have a president. Then we have two vice presidents over there. So very recently we had basically first executive of that Kashmir University Alumni Association. I was present there. That was chaired by Professor Nilofar Khan, Honorable Vice Chancellor of the University. So there has to be a structure at departmental level also for the alumni. This is again, I think, so far as my vision of alumni is concerned and what I have learned from the constitution of university, which is meant for the alumni association, there has to be a formal structure of the alumni in the department, in every department, not only in Shah-i-Hamdan Institute of Islamic Studies. I have some suggestion regarding that. So it is for, it is food for thought. So I think that we should, so far as the President of Alumni Association in the Islamic Studies Department is concerned, this is my suggestion. It can outrightly be turned down by all other colleagues, and particularly senior colleagues are there, and head of the department is there. So we should see who is the senior most professor in Kashmir who has worked in the Department of Islamic Studies and who is also accessible. So he can be designated. It can be an ad hoc arrangement for 2-3 months. After that we can have general elections, because there have to be elections for the alumni. It is not that we can dictate he is president, he is vice president, he is joint secretary, and like that. There have to be elections. But if there are less contestants, so then it can be simply those who have final of the nominations, they can be considered for the respective positions. So I would suggest that we should see for the senior most professor, he can be the president of our alumni association. Then next senior professors can be vice presidents. Then next senior can be the general secretary of the alumni association. Then our associate professor can also be the general secretary. And for joint secretary positions, for general secretary positions, we can have assistant professors from the department as well as from the college sector. Those who have been the alumni. And what is the definition of alumni, that we should be knowing. Basically, it is not only alumni meet. It has to be, so far as grammar is concerned, grammatically, we have to be correct. It has alumni plus alumni, A-L-U-M-N-A-E. That includes the female gender also. Alumni includes only the masculine gender. So therefore, it has to be both. We have to take care of, we have to be gender sensitive. So this is my suggestion to Professor Khagi Saab, who is heading the department this time. So they can think about it. Then there can be 10 executive members. In the executive members, we can have, it can be 15, there can be 12. It is not something which has been revealed, which has come from the God. So we can have 10, 15, and in those 10, 15 executive members, we can have representation from colleges, we can have representation from the Central University, from IUST, from Ghulam Shah Badshah University, and then from the Cluster University, and also representation from research scholars and students in the executive body of the overall executive body of Islamic Studies Alumni Association. So this is my suggestion. So it is food for thought.
I feel that we had started a journey in 1989. And that we have reached to this place now. And in this very hall, we had several international conferences, and great people used to be on these, some ambassadors, some scholars, some cultural counselors from Iran, and people across the country. They had come. Shah-i-Hamdan conference, one of the greatest conferences we had held in this hall itself, and we had involved whole university in that. I remember the days when we started the department, and that was in the Stone House. But the people who were there, they were not stone-hearted. For example, we had Yunus Gilani Sahab, as it has been mentioned by many people. He and myself had joined the department, as those days it was lecturers. We had no avenues at our disposal, and we used to spend money from our own pocket even to buy small things. And mashallah, such a great atmosphere was there, especially Yunus Gilani Sahab. So he had a good exposure. He was in Malaysia, and he had studied at many parts, and he had also a good experience at Kerala, Calicut. And with that huge experience, he had come to this university. I was I was the first time I was appointed as lecturer. I had no experience of teaching, I had experience of research. Because I was in Indian Institute of Islamic Studies, Hamdarat. I was research fellow there. And I was doing also research and other things. But I had no experience of teaching. I remember the day when I was in the class, taking first class, and Yunus was outside the door and he was listening, whether he will manage it well or not. When I came out from the classroom, he embraced me. So it was well done. So this was the starting of the department. And people were telling us that what is the future of the department, because it was not being taught in any college. As Yunus told you, earlier it was Department of Arabic and Islamic Studies. And I was informed by Professor Riyazur Rahman Shirwani that Department of Islamic Studies is coming into existence, and he informed me that 2 persons have been appointed, selected, and I was in Aligarh that day. He met me there. Then I was not knowing who has been selected. Then I told my teacher, Professor Taqi Amini Marhum, I was in his home. He was so much curious because my conditions were not good those days, economic and other conditions, because the people who want to study, they are not after their worldly gains, then they have just to suffer and they have to struggle. This is a lesson for us. And we have all undergone that process. And then at night I was sleeping in the Habib Hall. Mohit Saab knows Habib Hall. All these halls, educated people know. And one man came to me, he said that, Mubarak ho, aapka ho gaya selection. Aap bhi selected unme. So this was the first news which was broken by that person. It was Hussain Ahmad Siddiqui. He told me. It was a very cold night, I remember that day. And then we came here and we started the department with many difficulties. And we have people from the first batch also here. We have Jamil Sahab, we have Manzoor Sahab. They were students of the first batch. And then it was in 89, and later on Rashid Sahab joined us in 1990. And in 1992, Professor Nasim Ahmad Shah joined. And then Manzoor Sahab also joined. They were first research assistants, teaching assistants, and Jamil Sahab also. And then Ghulam Nabi also, and many others. I remember all the days because everything comes to my mind. As it was a dream, but it was a dream coming true. We should see dreams. We had also very great dreams in our mind. And we had a first Board of Studies meeting where Mushil Haq Marhum, he was also there. Since I was inclined towards philosophy and comparative religion, I suggested that we should keep something of Ibn Taymiyyah and others as Ghazali and comparative religion. He said, Maharaji Sahab keh rahe hai to rakhna hi padega. Mujhe yaad hai abhi tak. Ye Mushil Haq Sahab. And I remember there was one Professor Ziaul Hasan Farooqi. He was a great scholar who was the editor of Islamic Studies, journal which is being published from Islam in Modern Age. So he just said when he was leaving, he said, Tawassu, Tawassu, Tawassu. Hamid Sahab, Tawassu rakho, Tawassu rakho, Tawassu. Tawassu means broad-mindedness. Now you are starting a department, you should be broad-minded, because religion is a very, very serious and sensitive issue. We have to include all and exclude none, because there are so many, feelings, ideologies, and other things. And it is very nice if you can accommodate all. Alhamdulillah, we have tried to accommodate all. And that was and my students, they are my students now, they are my colleagues, they stand witness to this. We have never discriminated, and I never believed in lobbyism, let me tell you. Although in Aligarh, I was very strong in lobbying, and in JNU also, I was strong. I believed that student, leadership, and we defeated communists in JNU. And Aligarh also, I was very strong. But when I came to Kashmir, I said no lobbyism, no groupism, no gangs, and we just treated all the students equally, and no groupism was there. I never believed that, because that is the worst enemy of the academic excellence of an institution. Because then we are just compromising with the merit. And when one person comes in any place who is below merit or who is not worth the post, then everything shifts. So we were so much careful about that, and Yunus Sahab also was very much careful about that. And this was the starting point of the department. And then we had great scholars who used to come to our university. They used to deliver lectures. Great people. You may name any person, Anzar Shah Kashmiri Rahmatullah. Several times he came to our department. Sajjad Naumani, he came here. And I can never forget Professor Muhammad Sakhan, who was the leading light and who was heading the department. And he was guiding us like anything. He was just like a father figure for us. Manzoor Sahab worked under him, and my many colleagues, even Jamil Sahab, and other people, they worked under him. And so he also contributed a great deal, and we will never forget his services. May Allah have mercy on him. And Professor Wahid Sahab, who was the vice chancellor also, he was also head of the department. And then Professor Rafiqi Sahab, and Dost Muhammad Sahab, and many people, they were our heads of the departments, because we had our own head. We had heads, not head at that time. So in this way, we have passed through so many stages. And once upon a time, this department was considered to be the best department. And so far as, Alhamdulillah, I am happy that we have to progress more. So it was considered to be one of the best departments of the university. And most of the JRF and NET qualified were from our department. And we used to have great programs, open-ended programs. People had access to our department. Any person could come, and we were accommodating. Although conditions were very, very difficult. You can't imagine about the circumstances. But we never blocked anyone's way. People used to come to our department, discuss, talk, and we arranged so many seminars, conferences, and extension lectures. And when I became head, we used to have every year a Seerah conference. And the topic is used to be Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam and social justice. Such topics, Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam and women. 3 programs we had. And then the greatest conference we had conducted here was International Conference on Sayyid Ali Hamadani. And people from across the globe, from Germany, from Iran, from Tajikistan, they had come to this place. And I used to receive calls from different parts of the country and world that you had a great program, can you send us the proceedings of the program? And we had involved the whole university in this program. Whole university was involved, and they were knowing that this is the department. Because unless and until we are open, I was happy that today, Khagi Sahab has a vision, and we thank him. At least he has invited us. And we expect that our students should invite their teachers, and they should get guidance from them. Because this department was not just for the sake of job. We had some commitment to this. It's our conviction. This has something with our emotions and spirit. Our soul, it has something with that. So we wanted to contribute. But when you don't invite, why we should contribute? We have other things to do, many things. And people are taking help from us, alhamdulillah, internationally. And for example, I can tell you about myself. I go to any part of the world, and people are just taking help from us. I conducted so many seminars, conferences at Malaysia and Indonesia and Iran and Turkey and USA. But no, I was expecting that sometime my colleague should invite me and my students, former students. But it was credit goes to Professor Khaki. The first time he has just organized it. Other programs we organized it. That was very good. But this was the first. I give credit to Professor Khaki Sahab, and he has that vision. He has a lot of exposure, alhamdulillah. And alhamdulillah, he also wants this department should have a name in the university. It should not be something as a department among the department. No, it should be the department. Because we have such an interdisciplinary, subject where we can accommodate each and every person. And everyone has to get some inspiration from us, inshallah. And alhamdulillah, we are doing it everywhere, wherever we go. I am so happy that, for example, we have Department of Islamic Studies in Islamic University. They associated with me many times. I went to for framing the syllabus, and we added something more, which was not in our department here. That is needed because we have to grow. And also, I went to Ghulam Shah Badshah University. My student was there. My two students. One was Anjum Sahab and then Nasim Gul, and then there were contractuals. They invited us, and we also framed their syllabus and gave them good sessions. And mashallah, that's also progressing. And we went to Aligarh also. We also helped them in different ways, in JNU, in Hamdan University, and also in Jamia Millia Islamia. Now they are, mashallah, having very good syllabus, because unless and until we update ourselves, we will lag behind. Although this is the first department in the whole valley of J&K, that now it is UT, which was started. And it is the alma mater in that way for all the departments which we have in different parts of the J&K UT. Jamia Millia, for example, Ghulam Shah Badshah University, Islamic University, Mano. So there was no, and now mashallah we have Central University of Kashmir, and I had the honor of starting that program along with Jamil Sahab and Moeed Sahab. They helped me a great deal. And Khaki Sahab, Rashid Sahab, mashallah. They were with me. We associated them, and the role of Moeed Sahab was very important. Because we should acknowledge, La yashkurullah man la yashkur nas. A person has never praised or thanked Allah who has not thanked people. The people who are just playing their role, we should acknowledge their contribution. Because it is in the nature of man. And although it is said, the people who have done nothing and they want to be praised, that is okay. But the people who have done something, they have the feeling they should be praised, they should be encouraged. So I am happy that we could frame a very good syllabus there for the religious studies department, that was comparative study, and also then we started Islamic studies. That was a great contribution and also great achievement. And that is because basis was this department here. This is the background of everything here, and we want this department to be really the threshold. I would never like that this department should get little bit even any decline in anything. I would like that it should flourish, as Khaki Sahab would also like that, Manzoor Sahab will also like, Rashid Sahab will, and Nasim Shah Sahab, and our Yunus Gilani Sahab, and now our new colleagues, because they are young, mashallah, fresh blood. And we are happy that, mashallah, they are doing their best, whatever they can do. But we are with them. They should not think that they are alone. If they need our services, but if they don't need, we will not come. Because we have little bit, we earn some respect. When we are, father is not very much worried if the children are going this way or that way. So fathers will only care for those children who are also respecting their the advice or the advice of the fathers. Otherwise, fathers, okay. Others then advise those people, So we are ready. And I want that we should make this department a very great center of learning. And it should feed all the centers which are found elsewhere. And everything should start from here. I would like this department to be the threshold for all activities, and now they have to connect other departments. For example, we have department in Islamic studies, this, for example, Ghulam Shah Badshah University, and we have Islamic University, and we have Manu University, and we have Central University of Kashmir. We have at least five departments. So now there should be some headquarter, whatever alumni, whatever we may call it, headquarters should be in this department. And we would not like that should be transported anywhere else. We want this department to flourish and become the center. because this was the starting point of our journey.